Welcome to today's segment. This is your host, Aboti Belisha. On today's segment, we'll be talking about the Gen Z's perception about marriage and values which they believe in. Majority of Gen Z respondents reported that authenticity is more important to them than any other personal value vested, including spending time with what they like, with people they like, and also being able to influence others, creating a job, passion. And Gen Zs are not concerned on picture perfect. So first of all, what are their values and what do they believe? We will talk on the values of Gen Z. What does Gen Z value or believe in?
We, as the Gen Z, we truly believe in a society that will work for us and which we can work in at the same time. We really do value being able to work together hand in hand and seeing the profit for everybody, not just one side being the consumer and one side being the workers.
If we Gen Zs are all about quality and authenticity. I believe we believe that we want things that are real. We want the reality. We want to be able to face the reality. We want to work in togetherness. We want to believe that we have a great future in hand and use what we have to get what we want.
We believe that we are a new generation creating a new pattern to how things are being done. It's just you applying a different method in achieving a desired goal.
I think one value that Gen Zs have is not being pretentious. We have that ability to be very real and be very, authentic, be our true selves, and that is why we are so different from the other generations.
Live in clear communication. Like we tend to like when we communicate with one another clearly, not trying to hide one thing or the other from each other.
We believe in our skills, using what you have to get what you want, like my fellow guest said, and that is one of the most important things. We believe in going out with different ideas, creating different ideas and running with it.
So concerning Gen Z's perception of marriage, first of all, you begin from relationship before getting into marriage. So what is Gen Z's approach to relationship in your own perspective?
Right now, it's just something that shouldn't be rushed, something that should be taken at pace for you both to know what you want.
So I believe in a relationship, you all should be able to trust yourself, have commitment to each other, and in the long run, be married. But before you get to that marriage stage, you should be able to build some certain levels of values and boundaries and stuffs. Boundaries might sound like a too much word in this sense, but I will still stand on boundaries because there are some sort of things and certain things that you and your husband or to be husband or fiancé or boyfriend and girlfriend or whatever you call yourself have to have, in the aspect of, you guys have a timetable for stuffs, you have this certain venues you go to, places you go to, you don't just go to anywhere anyhow. Do you understand? So I believe we Gen Zs want something real, but before you get that something real, you definitely have to go through waivers and seas of different kind of individuals.
It first starts from friendship, and when you start from friendship, you don't get to know that person fully, because now I know you to a certain level. Now I'm entering into a relationship with you with emotional attachment, a lot of attachments in place. So relationship to me is like rediscovering a friend that you had with emotions. So that is my own approach to it. I get to know you more, I get to know you better before we go to another stage. So that is relationship.
Enter into relationships mostly to satisfy their own pleasure, and we as a generation, that's something we should actually work on, because many people enter into relationships not for the right reasons. They enter into relationship because of one thing or another. Speaking from my own point now, my own approach to relationships is, I'm not dating to just to play around or stuff. I'm dating because I want to get married. And that's what many Gen Zs don't believe in. They just date because they want frivolities. I'm dating because I have a goal and I have a long-term goal. I don't have that time. I don't have that emotional strength to start jumping from one relationship to another, because whether we choose to admit it, you lose yourself when you move from one to another, whether you choose to accept it.
Yes.
So that's my own perspective.
It should be built on trust, whether casual or serious. That's the most important thing in a relationship. And there must be a clear communication between both parties, and both parties should be able to share responsibilities within each other. So
One of the most important things, like me, I'm a Gen Z, I believe that every relationship should have a form of trust, be it friendship or romantic relationship, even relationship with your family. You should be able to trust one another. So trust, commitment, and the ability to want to work it out together with this person or this partner. So that's my own view.
Okay, we've all shared our ideas on approach to relationship. Most of us already personalize it, while most of us generalize it. So right now we are going to talk about what the Gen Z thinks about marriage.
So I see marriage as a lovely union, a lovely bond when it goes right. So my thoughts on marriage, what I think about them is that when it is done properly, when it is done well, it is one of the best things that you can find out there that you can see people in. So I just think whoever is planning on getting married should really take it the right way.
Generally and personally, in fact, in the whole wide world, marriage is seen as a bondage, like a cage, something that traps you for being who you're supposed to be. But nowadays, now marriage has been seen as a way to free yourself, a way where you find freedom as an individual and as a whole. So as he said, marriage is a beautiful thing. I won't lie to you, it's a very beautiful thing. It's a lovely thing. Oh my days, you'll be so
Have you been in it before?
I've not been in it. I mean, I've not been in it, but there are a lot of examples for me to point out. My parents' marriage is looking fine and sweet. There are different people's marriage I've seen that are good, but at the same time I have seen the other side of marriages from other people, and I told myself, if this is marriage, I don't want it.
Which is the coming together of a man and a woman to become one. To me, marriage is a culture. To me, it's like a way of life. It's coming together of two people with different cultures, different backgrounds, different way of life, different perception, thinking, and all to become one. So the tolerance and the acceptance is what makes that marriage blossom.
Marriage is beautiful. It is. Forget the whole stories that we're hearing. Obviously, there are bad marriages, but when it's done correctly, when it's done with the right person, and that's why rushing into marriage is not something I would ever advise. Calm down, look for that person that you know that is the right person, and then you go into it and you see that it will work fine. Obviously, there will be bad and good days, and you find a way to just balance everything out. Marriage is good.
My personal view about marriage is, I think it's a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful thing, because these are two different people coming from different homes, different backgrounds, upbringing, culture, and they are deciding, like, it's a conscious decision to want to spend life together with each other. So
Thank you guys. Thank you for joining us on today's segment. Do well to follow us on all social media platforms. Thank you.